The Chiefs' pursuit of history can finally begin this weekend as Kansas City kicks off the divisional round of the postseason for a 7th consecutive year. Patrick Mahomes will make his 19th career postseason start on Saturday. He's 15-3 through his first 18 career postseason starts, and with one more win, he matched Joe Montana for the second most victories among starting quarterbacks in NFL postseason history. Only Tom Brady, with 35, would own more. He's also just 5 touchdown passes shy of moving past Montana and Aaron Rodgers for the second most in NFL postseason history. Again, Brady owns that record with 88, but Mahomes is closing in on second place with 41 already at just 29 years old. Now, Mahomes and the Chiefs offense will face a Texans defense on Saturday that thrives off 2 things: takeaways and sacks. We'll start with the takeaways. The Texans forced 29 turnovers this season, 5th most of any team in the NFL, and off those, they scored 100 points. That was 27% of their point total for the entire year, highest rate for any team in the entire league. And last week against the Chargers, they forced 4 turnovers and scored 12 points off those takeaways, 12 of their 32 total points as a team. It's their bread and butter. They've lived off it all year long, and my number one key for the Chiefs in this game is not turning the ball over. The good news for Kansas City, and knock on wood here, is the Chiefs haven't turned the ball over in 7 consecutive games. That's tied with the 2010 New England Patriots for the longest streak of any team without a turnover in the Super Bowl era. And again, my number one key to a Chiefs victory on Saturday is to keep that trend going. Now, looking at the other part of this, it's the Texans pass rush, and they have a good one. They have 49 sacks as a team this year. That's 4th most of any team in the NFL, and 47% of that production came from just 2 players, Danielle Hunter with 12 sacks and Will Anderson Jr. with 11. It's one of the best pass rushing tandems in the NFL, but neither had a sack on Mahomes back in Week 16, due in part to the Chiefs' game plan, which emphasized the quick passing game. Mahomes got rid of the football in an average of 2.48 seconds in that game. It was his 3rd quickest time to throw on the season, and that strategy was effective because it limited the Texans' opportunities in terms of their pass rush, and also because Houston allowed the highest average yards after the catch of any team in the league this year at 6.5 yards. In fact, 4 different Chiefs recorded at least 25 yards after the catch back in Week 16 against this Houston Texans defense. Now, on the other side of the ball, Texans quarterback CJ Stroud is one of the top young passers in the NFL, and he was pretty good last week after a slow start. But one thing he's had to deal with all year long has been pressure, and he's been under a lot of it. He's been sacked the 2nd most times of any quarterback in the league this season, behind only Caleb Williams. He's been sacked at least 4 times on 8 occasions this year, most of any quarterback in the league. And there's a pretty clear demarcation line here. When Stroud was sacked 4 or more times this season, Houston was only 2-6. When he was sacked 3 or fewer times, however, he was 9-1. Now, the one exception was a loss to the Chiefs just a few weeks ago in Week 16. Kansas City only got him to the ground twice in that game, but the Chiefs did generate quite a bit of pressure on Stroud. He was pressured on 48% of his dropbacks in that matchup, even though he was only sacked twice. So kind of a key for the Chiefs here in this game, turn some of those pressures into sacks. It's important to pressure Stroud too, because he is one of the league's best weapons at his disposal in wide receiver Nico Collins. Collins missed 5 games this year, but despite that, he still accounted for 20% of the Texans' total catches, 25% of their total receiving yards, and 35% of their total receiving touchdowns. Collins caught 7 passes for 122 yards and a touchdown last week against the Chargers, and if the Chiefs are to slow down Houston's offense, they gotta contain Nico Collins. So it won't be easy for the Chiefs on Saturday. The Texans are playing good football right now, and they're feeling great after a big win over the Chargers last week. But what an opportunity this is for the Chiefs as Kansas City takes the field with a 7th straight trip to the AFC Championship game on the line.